Yes, very good morning, all of you. So, we'll move ahead with the next part of the lesson. It is related to agriculture only. So, we'll learn about the types of farming, which is related to agriculture, and agriculture is the primary activity, which we already have learned about it in the previous period. So you have to refer the textbook and page number is 42 and 43. There you will get the types of farming in detail with information with the characteristic of it. We'll see one by one what are these. Subsistent farming. So first one type of farming is subsistent farming. What is it now? It is just enough for the farmer's family to live on. Typical characteristics of this type of farming are small farm sizes, household members as labor, low levels of technology, and relying mostly on nature and climate. So if we talk about subsistence farming, it is just for farmers' family. They are going to cultivate the crops for their own family only. And what are other characteristic of this type? As it is related to farmers' family, cultivation of farmers' family. So the size of the farm is very small. Then who are working as labor there? Household members, family members are going to work there as labor. Then low levels of technology they are going to use for it. And this type of farming is totally based on nature and the climate, totally based on the rainy season, like this. So totally based on nature and climate. So it is all related to subsistence farming. So we can get other information. There are other types of subsistence farming. These are the subtypes: intensive subsistence farming and primitive subsistence farming. So in intensive subsistence farming, what are other parts or what are the characteristic of it? Small plot of land, simple tools, and more labor. There is a difference between intensive subsistence farming and primitive. Primitive means what? That traditionally people were doing the farming or cultivation of the crops. So that time they have been used shifting cultivation and nomadic herding. Have you heard about it? That shifting cultivation. Shifting means what? They were going to change the places for the farm. They were going to change the lands for the farming. As the fertility is going to be decreased, that's why they were continuously changing the land or piece of land also. So this is known as shifting cultivation. And nomadic herding. Nomadic means the people were roaming in the surrounding area, so they were keeping the animals and they were taking care of them, and they were going to use these animals for cultivation of the crops. So this is all related to nomadic farming. So all these things are related to subsistence farming. So intensive farming, there are the characteristics like small plot of land, simple tools they have been used, and they needed more labor for it. Is it clear till subsistence farming? Do you have any doubt in subsistence farming?
Ma'am, can you just explain again?
Okay, subsistence farming is totally depend upon cultivation for only farmers family. Okay, we have seen the characteristic of it that the farm size is very small. Then who are working there as labor? Household members, means family members are working as labor there, and low levels of technology have been used in it. And this type of farming is totally depend upon nature and climate. And there are two subtypes of subsistence farming: intensive and primitive. So in intensive subsistence farming, what are the characteristics? In this farming, the plot of land is very small, then simple tools they are going to use, and more labor they needed
Ma'am?
to do this type of farming. Simple tools means the traditional tools.
Yes.
Traditional tools have been used by the people by our previous generation, like this. And in primitive subsistence farming, again it has been divided into two types: shifting cultivation, which we already have discussed, that they were going to change the piece of land because it lost the fertility of the soil. That's why constantly they were changing the piece of land for cultivation of the crops. And in nomadic farming, We have seen that nomadic means the people were continuously wandering in the forest area, and herding means they were keeping the animals which were very useful for the cultivation of the crops. They were taking care of them. Now, is it clear for subsistence farming?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Now we'll move ahead. That variety in subsistence farming, small plot, dependence on climatic rainfall, so it is known as intensive subsistence agriculture, which we already have discussed. Clearing a plot of land, burning, cultivating, and then moving on. This is known as shifting cultivation, as I told that. First, they were clearing the plot of land, then whenever they were clearing that plot of
Ma'am,
land, the remaining things have been burned by them, and then they have been used that plot of land for cultivation of the crops. And the third one, which we have seen, that herding animals and moving with them, this is known as nomadic herding. So, in short, they have given information about the subtypes of subsistence farming here. These are the characteristics of it. Now, what are the characteristics of subsistence farming? I will show all these answers at last because I will share the textbook with you. So there we will discuss all these question answers. We'll move ahead with the next part related to it. So first one type is subsistence farming. Now we'll move ahead with commercial farming. That is the second type of farming. So you have to refer page number 43 and 44 in the textbook. So farming, subsistence farming and commercial farming. Commercial farming is done to sell crops and animals and make a profit. So typical characteristics of this type of farming are large use of machines instead of labor, high levels of science and technology, and very large farm size. So if we talk about, as per the name of this farming, commercial. Commercial means what? The farming which is totally related to the commercial purposes. So there they will get the more profit. So they can sell that crops in the market. They earn more profit by it. They can sell the animals in the market and also they will get the more profit by it. And other characteristic of this type of are that the farm size is very big, as per compared to the subsistence farming, it is related to family only. But if we talk about commercial farming, it is related to all. They can sell that in the market and they will earn more profit by this. So the farm size is very big. Then machinery have been used by this farming instead of labor. So in subsistence farming, the labor have been worked as the family members only. But in commercial farming, large use of machines. They were going to use the machines for it because the production is at very vast level and high levels of science and technology. So these are the characteristics of commercial farming. Now variety in commercial farming, growing food crops, then fodder and raising livestock. This is known as mixed farming. So in mixed farming, what we can say that growing food crops, this type of farming is done for growing the food crops, which we are going to use in our day-to-day life, like wheat, rice, okay. So all these are going to be considered as food crops. Fodder means what? The food for animals, okay. So animals have been used this type of fodder, and this type of production is done in mixed farming. Then raising livestock means what? Livestock means what? The farm animals domesticated for cultivation of the crops. They were keeping these animals, they were growing them, they were taking care of them. So all these things are mixed in this type of farming. That's why the name is given mixed farming to this type. Then the second subtype of commercial farming is growing grain to harvest and sell. So this is known as commercial grain farming. See, the grain is written here. So it shows that it is totally related to the grain. So they can cultivate the crops related to the grains to harvest and sell. To harvest means what? The season of gathering ripened crops. Harvesting means the season of gathering ripened crops. So they were gathering all these crops and they were selling in the market. That's why it is totally related to the grains. So it is known as commercial grain farming. And last one subtype of commercial farming is planting only a single kind of cash crop. Do you know the cash crop? Which are these? Can anybody tell me the example?
Cotton, cotton, jute,
Yes, and more which we have seen in Assam, in Karnataka.
tea crops.
Yes, coffee, tea, all these are considered as a cash crops because people are earning lots of money by selling these cash crops in the market. So planting only a single kind of cash crops, this type of farming is known as plantation farming. Okay, so all these are subtypes of commercial farming. First is mixed farming, second is commercial grain farming, and plantation farming. Is it clear to all? So we'll move ahead. That farming, we have seen the types of farming. So it is there all in one diagram, tree diagram. Farming, commercial farming, subsistent farming. Commercial farming is divided into mixed farming, plantation farming, and commercial grain farming. Now we'll discuss the question answers about it. Just wait. See, the previous question. State the difference between subsistence farming and commercial farming. This is the last question in your worksheet. Okay. So the answer for this question is subsistence farming is done for survival, means
Ma'am.
it's totally related to the family. So
Okay.
done for survival. So how we will write is in sentence. Subsistence farming is done for survival. Then commercial farming is done for profit. Like this you have to write in exam. Okay. Now we'll move ahead with the second point. In subsistence farming, the farm size is very small. In commercial farming, farm size is very large. Then the uses mostly household labor. In subsistence farming, mostly family members are working, and in commercial farming, lots of machines have been used and less labor have been used in it. And the fourth one difference is low use of science and technology related to subsistence farming, and in commercial farming, high use of science and technology. So these are the main differences between it. Is it clear that there are 4 points related to it? Done for survival, done for profit, small farm size, large farm size, uses mostly household labor, lots of machines and less labor, low use of science and technology, and here high use of science and technology. Okay, so now we'll share with you the textbook of it. So we'll get to know that what are that. Okay, so in your textbook, lesson number 4 is there. We already have learned about agriculture, input, output, processes. Okay, so all these things we already have learned in first one part of agriculture, like primary activities, secondary activities, and tertiary activities. Then we'll move ahead with the types of farming. Here you will get to know that the detailed information about this type of farming is done in which part of world, that you will get to know here also. So here this type of farming is practiced to meet the needs of the farmer's family, and traditionally low levels of technology and household labor are used to produce on small output. See, I have marked all these answers here in the textbook. So those who have worksheet, or you can take a screenshot also. So you will get to know that where you will get that answer in the textbook. Okay. So first I will show the worksheet. In your worksheet, here we will get that types of farming. In worksheet number 401, types of farming, subsistence and commercial. So whatever we have learned in this lesson, this is the gist of this subsistence farming and commercial farming. This classification depends on geographical conditions, produce demand, labor, and levels of technology. Subsistence farming is practiced mainly to meet the needs of farmers' family. It can be further classified into intensive subsistence farming and primitive subsistence farming. Then we have seen shifting cultivation and nomadic farming. These are other types of farming practiced around the world. In case of commercial farming, crops are grown and animals are reared for sale in the market. This may be further classified into commercial grain farming, mixed farming, and plantation agriculture. Now we'll see the question answers which are there in the PPT also. So our question number 6 is, what are the characteristics of subsistence farming? So you will get that answer over here. See, question number 6, as I have marked in pink color, subsistence farming. This type of farming is practiced to meet the needs of the farmer's family. Traditionally, low levels of technology and household labor are used to produce on small output. So this answer you have to write down in points. So there are 2 points. First is related to meet the needs of the farmer's family, and second point is low levels of technology and household labor are used to produce on small output. Okay. So this way you can complete question number 6 by writing 2 points in it. Question number 6 is clear to all? Question number 7, in what kind of climatic conditions is intensive subsistence agriculture usually practiced? Okay, so we'll see that related to intensive subsistence agriculture. The farmer cultivates a small plot of land using simple tools and more labor. So, which type of condition is preferable for intensive subsistence agriculture? So you will get that answer here. Climate with large number of days with sunshine. So your answer for question number 7 is climate with large number of days with sunshine. This is your answer. Okay. And in this paragraph, you will get to know that some of the characteristics of intensive subsistence farming. So fertile soils permit growing of more than one crop annually on the same plot. So rice is the main crop, and other crops include wheat, maize, pulses, and oilseeds. Intensive subsistence agriculture is prevalent in the thickly populated areas of the monsoon regions of South, Southeast, and East Asia. Okay, so question number 7 is also clear for here. Then we'll move ahead with question number 8. Distinguish between subsistence farming and intensive farming. Subsistence farming is the main type and intensive subsistence farming is the subtype. Okay. So we have to write down the difference between it. So it is clear by 1 point only. So for for point number 1, you have to write down the same which we have referred for question number 6. Okay, this type of farming is practiced to meet the needs of the farmer's family. Low levels of technology and household labor are used to produce on small output. And for first point of intensive subsistence farming, you will write that the farmer cultivates a small plot of land using simple tools and more labor. So there is only 1 point in the difference between subsistence farming and intensive subsistence farming. Okay, here we will see low levels of technology. Here we have seen they were using simple tools. And household labor are used to produce on small output. Here they have been used more labor. Means they are hiring the labor from market in intensive subsistence farming. This is the main difference between it. Then question number 9, shifting cultivation is also known as slash and burn agriculture. Explain. So we have to write down that answer by seeing in the paragraph. See, shifting cultivation. Okay, it is practiced in the thickly forested areas of Amazon basin, tropical Africa, parts of Southeast Asia and Northeast India. These are the areas of heavy rainfall and quick regeneration of vegetation. Now you will get that answer of question number 9 here. Why it has been called as slash and burn agriculture? Because when shifting cultivation have been done by the people, that time a plot of land is cleared by felling the trees and burning them. So what they were doing first, they were clearing the land, they were clearing by felling the trees, they were burning them, and then the ashes are then mixed with the soil and crops like maize, yam, potatoes, cassava are grown, and after the soil loses its fertility, the land is abandoned and the cultivator moves to a new plot. So this way we can say that shifting cultivation is known as slash and burn agriculture. Slash means what? They are going to clear the piece of land, and burn means what? They are going to burn all these things which they have been cleared on the plot of land. Okay, that's why it is known as slash and burn agriculture also. So this is the answer of question number 9. For question number 10, the same answer you have to write down which we have written for question number 9. But one part is added in it. We have to write down the disadvantage of it. So what are the disadvantage of shifting cultivation? First is deforestation and second is loss of soil fertility of patches of land. Okay. So these are the disadvantages of shifting cultivation. Now we'll move ahead with question number 11. In what kind of climatic conditions is nomadic herding usually practiced? Okay, so we'll get that answer here in the next paragraph. Nomadic herding is practiced in the semi-arid and arid regions of Sahara, Central Asia and some parts of India like Rajasthan and Jammu Kashmir. Wherever the less rainfall is there, in that area they are going to do the nomadic herding. So it is practiced in semi-arid and arid region. That is the answer of question number 11. Then for 12, in nomadic herding, what are the deciding factors for the herdsmen? So we'll get to know that in this type of farming, herdsmen move from place to place with their animals for fodder and water along defined routes, and this type of movement arises in response to climatic constraints and terrain. So particular area have been decided by all these people and they were moving with their animals in search of fodder and water along with defined routes also. So route have been decided by themselves. So in this way, these are the factors related to nomadic herding. So which type of animals they are going to carry with them? Sheep, camel, yak and goats. These are most commonly reared and they provide milk, meat, wool, hides and other products to the herders and their family. Here it has been written hides. Hides means what? The skin of animal. Okay, the skin of an animal. Then question number 13. What are the characteristics of commercial farming? So it is the second main type. You will get to know that in commercial farming, crops are grown and animals are reared for sale in market, and the area cultivated and the amount of capital used is large, and most of the work is done by machines. So it is totally depend upon the commercial purposes. Okay, so accordingly they are going to sell in the market, they will earn more profit, they will use machineries there, and the area cultivated and the amount of capital used is also large in size. So these are the characteristics of commercial farming. Then question number 14, what is commercial grain farming? This is the subtype. Okay, so in commercial grain farming, crops are grown for commercial purposes and wheat and maize are common commercially grown grains. So this is the answer of question number 14. So major areas where commercial grain farming is practiced are temperate grasslands of North America, Europe and Asia. These areas are sparsely populated with large farms spreading over hundreds of hectares. Severe winters restrict the growing season and only a single crop can be grown. Then next one question, what is mixed farming? Somebody has asked the question that what is mixed farming? So in mixed farming, we have mixed processes. Okay, why it is known as mixed farming? Because we have mixed processes there. Like first is the land is used for growing food. So what they are going to do there? They will do the cultivation of the crops there. Then fodder crops also they are going to cultivate there. Fodder crops is useful for the animals. This is going to be used as food for the animals, and rearing livestock. They are going to rear that animals which they are going to use for the cultivation of the crop on the same piece of land. So three activities done on one plot of land. That's why it is known as mixed farming. Is it clear? So this is the answer of question number 15. What is known as mixed farming? Then the next question, what is plantation agriculture? You will get that answer in the next paragraph. Plantations are a type of commercial farming where single crop of tea, coffee, sugarcane, cashew, rubber, banana or cotton are grown. Large amount of labor and capital are required. So this is known as plantation agriculture. The produce may be processed on the farm itself or in nearby by factories. The development of transport network is thus essential for such farming. So major plantations are found in the tropical regions of the world, rubber in Malaysia, coffee in Brazil, tea in India and Sri Lanka. These are some of the examples. Okay. And the last question we already have discussed, that differences between subsistence farming and commercial farming. There were 4 points which I have shown in the PPT slides that you have to refer for it. Okay, so in this way we have completed the second part of agriculture related to types of farming. Is it clear to all? Okay, so our time is also over. So thank you so much. So bye everybody and have a nice day to all of you.
If you like our videos, do share them and subscribe to our channel. If you want awesome quizzes, write to us. Keep watching and keep learning with Walnut.